Mark your calendars for Sunday, August 29th, and come on out to my house for Homegrown Humor. That's right, I'm hosting a comedy show in my very own home. Along with me, you'll get to see some local favorites like Ray Jackson, Jody McDermott, Mike Wells, and closing out the night will be the legendary Jesse Nutt. Tickets are only $5. Just go to MrMikeShea.com/live or tblpod.net/live and get your tickets now. Fucking dude from Whitest Kids You Know died, man.
Yeah, I heard it was an accident. And honestly, I wasn't big, like, huge in the Whitest Kids You Know. Like, I watched this, every now and then. Like, yeah. But one of my favorites, like, literally one of my favorite just skits ever, just in skits in general, there's 3 of them. 1, Chris Farley, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
2, Will Ferrell, American Thong.
Right.
3, Abraham Lincoln, fucking at the play, hammered in the ass. It was like my 3 favorite skits, so it's just like...
My favorite one from them was always The Grapist.
That's also fucking fantastic.
The Grapist is so fucking... Yeah, he's the Grapist. He grapes kids in the mouth.
Yeah. And then another one I forgot about the video about how he talked about how to kill the president of the United States. And he talked about it all hypotheticals because you can get in trouble for talking about how you want to kill the president of the United States. And that would be super illegal to show how to do it. And he flashes up these plans real fast. And I was like, God damn, this is so funny. I forgot about that one too, but I was like, God damn.
And then... I mean, everyone remembers the Get a New Daddy song.
Yeah.
Which is, I loved Whitest Kids You Know. So I watched that religiously when I was growing up, man. Welcome to the Basement Lounge podcast with your hosts, Mike Shea and Mike Wells. Sit back, grab a drink, relax. Let's see where the time takes us. Enjoy.
I know we talk about AMC a lot, and that's what I want to open up with.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the fucked up thing.
Oh, shit.
AMC had historic earnings on its call yesterday.
Oh shit.
And it went down the next day.
No, really?
That's not even feasible. So tell me how that makes sense.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
They beat their earnings by 20%, what they had projected to do.
Okay.
And they basically said they're opening up 10 more theaters, like actually opening up 10 more theaters worldwide. 10 more theaters in the United States, I think like 10 more internationally.
Oh, okay.
They said they're going to start accepting Bitcoin by the end of the year as payment.
Really?
All this like good news, but then the next day the stock goes down. So tell me how that makes any sense.
That doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
No. So
are they like, do you think people are just selling their stock to fuck with it?
No, I think it's manipulated.
Yeah.
There's a way to manipulate the stock. That's the thing. Like, if you look at any stock that has that type of like news and then beats the earnings, they always go up.
Right.
Why all of a sudden would everybody be like, oh, they had their great earnings, and then it would just go down? No.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know with especially being a movie theater chain right now is kind of volatile.
Well, here's the thing. They actually, one of their things they said is like the Warner Brothers said they'll have exclusive rights for the first 45 days for all their movies.
Who said that?
Warner Brothers.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like you have all this good news, but like the stock goes.
That's interesting because Warner Brothers is going through a big transition with Discovery because like AT&T is selling them off to Discovery. That's so weird.
And it made no sense. I was like, somebody asked me, like, how do you think? I was like, honestly, AMC should be great today because the earnings call. Like, you don't beat your numbers by 20%.
Yeah.
What they expect. And then it went down like 5% for the day. And I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
What's it at right now?
I think like $34 or something.
$34 a share.
That's why I was like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is completely it's so manipulated. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I think they finally figured out, like, some guy did like a rough estimate. He used some theory. Like, there's like this vote, and the vote, like, basically if somebody voted, like, this person asked a question, and you have to verify how many stocks you have, and it's called, the website's called Shea. What happens is you link your accounts that you have,
okay,
and it verifies how many questions, like, basically when, like, it was for AMC's earnings call, like questions to ask and stuff. Well, somebody put this questions like, hey, when you guys get out of debt, you guys are going to give us a dividend. And so everybody that was the first question, but everybody upvoted it, because what happens is if you upvote it, it takes your shares and it counts them into that thing. Oh. So it gives you like an idea of like how many people. So like 65,000 people owned like 68 million shares. So there's this theory.
Each or total?
Huh?
Each or total?
Total 65,000 people own 68 million shares.
Okay, gotcha.
That's not everybody.
Yeah.
That own, because like 4.1 million people own the shares, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I can't remember what the theory is, but like that roughly almost 1,100 shares per person. So logically, what would happen is you'd have obviously your people who own a ton of shares are going to sign into that, right? And then like the people who have lower end shares are going to be like, okay, like I got the lower end share count, like some of them sign into, but there's like this 80-20, like 20% of the people, like you have to figure it'd be on the high end. And if the average person owns like 120 shares, so they did like, I don't know how the math works, but it made, how to describe it, but like it made like to where like the float could anywhere between like almost 2 times like the amount of shares that's supposed to be available. Because if you take like basically all the high number of people owned more than 10% of the account of the shares available, like it was like 12% or something,
right?
But like if you do the math and use this person's theory how to calculate, they use this for like voting and stuff like that, like it was like so that would make like the float roughly on a conservative level like almost twice as many shares available than there should be. And if you go ultra conservative, it's still way, like they even did like an ultra conservative estimate. It's still like way more than it should be.
Really?
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I don't know.
This whole thing has been so fucking tumultuous. It's insane.
It's just fun for me.
It is.
I made money at it, but I continue to like study it. I'm like,
when you're watching it happen in real time, it's not like somebody who like, a lot of people who check like every month or like.
No, I'm like watching it.
You're watching it every fucking day.
And it's just like, I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, this makes like, if 5,000 people had almost 68 million shares, like not everybody's going to average 1,100 shares per, like that's not logical.
Right.
Because that was the whole point of the theory was like, you always have your top guys vote on that because obviously you expect they will be like all about that, and you have the lower tier. But the average person apparently, like when they split it up, it's supposed to have 120. Like there's 4.1 million people, but like if you take those 4.1 million people, there's 4.1 million people. They're only supposed to have an average of 120 shares, like only supposed. But that doesn't include synthetic shares and that type of stuff. So it was very interesting.
All the hedge fund fuckers.
Well, the weird thing is like. The irony, what even gets weirder is like there's 2 numbers that always like people like love to make fun of in the Reddit forums. It's like 420.
Right.
Like we're not going to sell until 420,000. We're not going to sell until each share hits 669,000.
Right.
So guess what the difference between what they actually the difference between what AMC was expected to earn and what they actually earned was 69,420,000. And somebody's like, that's got to give them like throwing us a signal or something. Like, and we know it because it was like so obvious. We're like, what the fuck? Like somebody picked those numbers perfectly. That's just stupid. I don't know. Like this is like month 8 for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've been talking about it all year, the beginning of this year.
I like it.
No,
I like how fucked up the financial system is. Like, I realize the financial system's fucked up, but now it's like I'm starting to realize how fucked up it really. Like, there's something called like a dark pool, and like I use Webull and people use Robinhood. Like those like numbers don't even go. Like if I buy a stock, if I buy it, it doesn't even go to the New York Stock Exchange. So it does not reflect on what's happening right at that moment. So what dark pools is like basically it's called PFOF, pay for order flow. So what happened is basically like Webull and like Robinhood. So like actually the irony is Citadel, one of the big person that shorts a lot of companies, owns payment for order flow.
Oh.
So what happens is like, if like they'll take like, if I buy a stock and let's say you buy a stock, I buy 10, you buy 10, right? So they'll take those 10, combine them, right? And take other people's 10 until there's like 1,000 of them, then throw them in all at once. But it never hits the stock exchange, period. So you never actually see it reflect in the price.
You never see what you're buying affect what's what's
Oh, and the crazy part is they actually see, like the hedge funds and the institutes see those numbers before anybody else. So now they can figure out what they want to do for the price.
Same with like Acorns and...
Yeah, all of them are like
them.
that. It's payment for order flow.
Jesus.
And when the irony is, I know we're getting like, the irony is Citadel was totally against that in 2012. And now they're benefiting from it. They have the biggest.
Really?
And 70%, it's like between 60 and 70% of like all orders for AMC go through dark pool.
God.
So it's like, it doesn't even hit the market to make a reflection. It's really fucking.
That's what's been, you think about where we're at, in technology and all that. 100 years ago, no one ever would have been able to catch on to this kind of thing.
Well, then even like in the 80s, it was like, if you bought a stock, like you had to call your broker. Your broker would then have to call down, or give it to somebody, and then you get it back a day or two later.
Right.
Everything happened. Now with computers, it's like instantaneously, but it's just like.
Well, but also because of computers and the internet, now people are able to track these kinds of, like you're talking about how the next day it went down. Back in the 80s, nobody would have caught that.
Yeah.
There's no way they could have. The shit would move so quickly. Now there's always someone watching.
And it just blows my, like a company cannot have like, and the amount of money they made this quarter was like how they beat their expectations. It was the biggest they've ever had in their entire history.
Really? Not just like in the last year?
No. In their history. Like how much money they have on hand, everything in their history, and it still went down.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it does. It doesn't make any sense. Wow. God. It's all fucked, man.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I have a group chat with my buddies, and I was like you could tell it's been manipulated because at the time it was only up 26 cents out of a great positive, and then eventually it was down like $2 for the day, and I was like, earnings calls, always, every positive earnings call, you're always up at least 5-10%. You don't go down 6% or 5, whatever it was. I'm like,
yeah, that doesn't make any, especially because like right now with movies coming back out in theaters again, like that money's flowing in.
Exactly,
that money is flowing in right now. People are so ready to go back to the movies.
Everybody, and that's the thing. Everybody, and they had Adam Aron, the CEO of AMC, on a bunch of stuff, and like. Jim Cramer is like kind of like talking to him.
I fucking hate Jim Cramer.
And Cramer's like, I just rather watch a movie at home. And then like Adam Aron is like, well, people have kitchens, but they still go out to eat.
Exactly.
And then it's like, it's just they get to bash the company because like, why aren't you bashing? Why are you only bashing AMC and not bashing any other movie company?
It's because they're the ones who, since this pandemic started, have been taking a stand against all the other big companies. They took a stand against Universal, took a stand against the whole like movies coming out on streaming the same day as they're going. They're the ones who've been putting their foot in the sand. And at the time when they did that, they had the most to lose because they were in financial hell at the time.
Yeah. Well, and not just that. I think they have been shorted to shit. And so like everybody's like, I mean, hedge funds, there's like 3 or 4 hedge funds that's gone under just because of AMC. And it's just like, can you just stop like the bullshit and just be like, it's clearly like, this is just fucking, it's literally, I'm seeing this happen and it makes if 2 + 2 = dick in mouth. Right. That's what it feels like right now. Like it's just like.
Well, and you look at like a guy like Jim Cramer. I mean, he works for, was it CNN or Fox?
CNBC.
CNBC.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, CNBC is falls under that. I think they're owned technically by Universal. So it would make all the sense in the world that the company is like, no, fuck this guy. Or, telling Jim Cramer, no, fuck the AMC guy. Because Universal was the first one AMC went after.
Well, and here's the irony. So like another guy did this thing about how like Adam Aaron's going to try to sell his shares. He said he's going to hire a third party to sell his shares because it takes him out of like, first of all, a CEO cannot sell shares during a short squeeze. They're not allowed to, period, at all. But not only that, it takes conflict out of interest for him. So like, and then you have like all of a sudden, like this guy, I can't remember what the dude is. He's big on CNBC. He's this anchor, just financial stuff. He starts talking about like, well, Adam Aaron's talking about selling his shares. He's going to hire a third party to sell his shares. And, you know, this is what's going on. And the other like anchor is like, well, yeah, all CEOs do this. But he was trying to pitch it as if like he's getting off board. It's going to tank.
It's almost like, it's like putting it into a blind trust.
Yeah.
That's the one that when Trump got elected, that was the thing they talked about, was if he was going to put his business holdings into a blind trust. And he said, yeah, I'll give it to my kids. And they were like, that's not a blind trust. It's not a blind trust. Yeah, no, that's fairly common. Yeah.
But they just try to like paint this picture of like,
well, it's sensationalism. It's at the end of the day, it's the equivalent of clickbait.
Yeah. What? Yeah, no, it is. It irritates the fuck out of me. I mean, like I said, I made money off it. I've been following it forever, but it's like when you see how blatant it is, you're like, right.
You almost just can't believe like this is happening right in front of my eyes. Yeah, you really
can't believe it. And I know they've put a lot of rules into places. Like you can see where they've put in rules in place for when shit hits the fan, everything will be fine. And it's gonna take a while. It's still taking a while, but all these rules are in place to show then, like it does. Like if something does happen, when it does happen, like the economy doesn't go.
Oh yeah.
Because you want to hear the wild part? So most heavily shorted stocks, and GME and GameStop and AMC in particular, are the delta to, the theta or delta to a market crash. If the market crashes, those two stocks will shoot up.
Really?
They're negative. They're negative delta, which is unheard of.
Oh.
So if the market literally crashes, those will shoot up regardless.
Holy shit. I've never heard of a negative delta.
Or it's either negative delta, or theta, or delta. I can't remember which one it is, but if the market crashes, those shoot up automatically. Because that is the hedge. Because what you do if something like that happens, you hedge against that. So those are the hedge for that. It's very weird. And they've been like that for like ever.
Jesus.
I just hate financial shit.
God damn.
I love looking into it. I love like numbers, but like digging in numbers, I was like from the very beginning, there was one day that's the whole point that got me into this. There was one day like 1.5 billion shares were traded. And I'm like, there's not even, at the time, there's only 300 million shares that could be traded. I was like, how is this even, like you're telling me the entire float got traded 5 times.
Yeah.
And nobody held on to anything. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's why I'm in.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's like going through your girlfriend, boyfriend's emails or text messages looking for evidence of cheating and finding all the other shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, once I started looking, I found a lot of things I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it feels like life really gives you the raw deal. So give yourself some raw comfort in the form of edible cookie dough from Dope. Dope is committed to reducing the stigmas around mental health and addiction recovery while making the world a little sweeter one spoonful at a time. They've got flavors ranging from classics like chocolate chip and snickerdoodle to crazy concoctions like brownie batter and Nutella banana. Plus, they donate a portion of every sale to the She Recovers Foundation, a nonprofit charity with a mission to connect, support, and empower women in or seeking recovery. Just head on over to dope.com, DOUGHP.com. Put together a killer sample pack and use the code TBL05 to get $5 off your order at checkout. You'll also get free shipping nationwide. So grab some Dope today and get ready to lick that spoon clean. I'm also that age now where like I'm just not drinking as much. Like I'm also like if I won't go to a bar that does not also serve food.
Well, I go to bars that serve food. I mean, don't serve food, but like I just rather just do edibles and get high. Like, and realistically, when I do that, I'm at home anyways. Like,
You'll want to listen to our VIP guest this month. Her name is Jordan Boucher. She's a cannabis friendly dietitian.
Ooh.
So all we did was talk about like smoking weed and eating. It was actually really fun. I think she was really high. There was a couple times where I was like, oh, she's high. But I'm also like, this is going to be fun.
And that shit's good. Like
Yeah.
you can put it in like, it's just a lot of it, they make a lot of stuff with the butter. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how they make the stuff. But I mean, like,
well, we even talked about like, cause she talked about like part of what she does is cause like she can't go work for like actual like healthcare facilities because, you know, drug tests and all that. But she still works independently, and she talks about how she helps people who are not only struggling with, you know, having the munchies and trying to get healthier, because that can be a pain in the ass, but she also talks about how they can use that to their benefit as well. If maybe if they're in that kind of bad diet situation where they're like not eating at all, she's like, smoke weed.
oh, you'll eat.
You will. That's part of the reason why they prescribe medical marijuana to cancer patients is because they have no fucking appetite because chemo's a bitch and it gets you to eat. Yeah.
It's so fucking wild how you can not be hungry, but as soon as you smoke weed, you're like, I want a fucking 3 pizzas and taco. I don't know what it is about weed, but like,
God, I want that when I'm not high.
it's so weird. Like I have literally like, I've eaten dinner, like a big fucking dinner, and I ate edibles, and I turned to my wife and I'm like, Melissa, I'm gonna order a pizza. She's like, you just fucking ate. I was like, I'm ordering a pizza. I mean, I regret it the next morning with my stomach. But fuck. Oh yeah. I'm fucking like, fuck yeah.
I had a lot of those in college. There was only one pizza place in town. It was a fucking Papa John's, but to deliver to a dorm with a large 1 topping and a 2 liter was $10. So I can't tell you how many times we were ordering like 2 or 3 pizzas to the fucking dorm at 1 o'clock in the morning. Plowing through them the next morning, we're all just like, I don't want to go to class.
This hurts.
My God.
This hurts so fucking bad. And I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, me too. Trust me. It's there, but I will suffer for pizza.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like weed will make you want to eat food.
Yeah.
And I think the ultimate thing is like weed that makes you edibles. You're eating food that makes you want to eat more food, which is the most fucked up thing. I just thought about that. You're eating food that makes you want to eat more food, and you don't want to eat edibles. I mean, I've been so high off edibles. Like I don't know if I told this story. One time I was watching Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I got so high. That was Thanksgiving Day. I had an edible at 10 in the morning.
Oh no. Before the turkey?
Well, here's the wild part. I thought Instant Family was a psychological thriller. Like I think, and like I like being paranoid high too. I love being paranoid. I'm like, am I telling my wife everything that's going on in my mind right now? Like, and like it just, I love that thought process. Like if I wake up tomorrow, like when I wake up, I'll find out.
Yeah.
You know, and I was still high the next day at work.
Oh my God.
And it wore off at 5 p.m. because I remember thinking, oh, I'm clear headed, and I looked at my watch and it was 5 p.m. on the dot, and I was like, God damn, this lasted 24 plus hours. This is almost not 36 hours, but it was a lot of fucking long ass time.
Oh my God. I've been like, I told you.
That's like 250 milligrams though.
Yeah. Well, I told you about the weekend I did that Adderall and up all fucking weekend. Did I ever tell you what happened the first time I did a gravity bong?
No.
Okay, so I was just so used to, I was still early in smoking pot, but you know, I was used to just always being, you know, hit the bowl, pass it, hit the, you know, so I would get high, but not that high. I tried a gravity bong for the first time when I was living down south, and that was new. That was a new kind of high for me, because I was having knee problems. I had a heel spur and knee problems at the time, so I was walking with a cane, right? So I was at my buddy's place. I hit this gravity bong, and I go sit on the couch, and the next thing I know, like everything just. Did you ever see that movie Dread with Carl Urban? With the slow-mo drug.
Yeah.
It was like that. Everything got really fucking slow. And I'm sitting there on the couch, leaning against my cane with my phone in my hand, just scrolling arbitrarily, getting like tunnel vision from my own phone. And then I bust out laughing at this joke my buddy said, something about fucking penguins. I don't remember what it was. And they look at me and they're like, what is so fucking funny? I'm like, the shit with the penguins. They're like, dude, that was 15 minutes ago.
I'm sure it wasn't pandas.
It could have been fucking pandas. But it was one of those, like, I was just like, they ended up having me to sleep on the couch that night because the next day it was just like, I feel light.
I love being that high. I fucking love it. That's like one of my favorite things is like, I don't want to do anything stupid.
Yeah.
I just want to chill and relax.
Yeah.
And be in my own thoughts, my paranoid thoughts sometimes.
When I'm drunk, I want to do stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm high, I bask in the glory of doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just love Sunday nights. My buddy Nick would come over. We'd get baked and, watch Hannibal or listen to a record or something.
Well, that's the thing is like, weed should be legal everywhere. I don't understand why it's not. It has so many medical benefits for a ton of people. Mm-hmm. But it's just because nobody can make money off of it yet.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason.
Yeah, completely.
The government wanted their cut.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about this with Jordan. I know we've talked about it before. And then you look at, it's got to be a whole reform program. It can't just be occasionally decriminalizing it on a state level, because there's still God knows how many people locked up for life for marijuana possession, while other people are out selling it and turning a profit
and calling it twisted tea.
Yeah.
The thought process of being in jail for life for selling weed and then getting out, or like finally getting out or whatever, not life, but like 20 years. And there's just a fucking dispensary.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I would Brooks was here myself on the spot.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I lost my life in prison, and now people are just selling this shit next door to a Starbucks, like in a building where like they are legally registered as a dispenser. Like it's
because the government never got their hands on it. Like
yeah.
Was it? They had their big deal in Coke because they basically helped funnel Coke to the United States or whatever.
Well, what was the one with Daddy Bush where the FBI was doing a big crack sting, and they actually got the undercover cops to have the sting moved to the park across from the White House, so that way they could conduct the bust at that park, so that the next day, when Daddy Bush did his press conference from the Oval Office, he was able to say, we were able to apprehend this much at a park just across the street from the White House. Like, they actually had the bust moved to that location just so he could have that line in his speech.
That's so fucking bullshit.
It's so fucked up. Yeah.
And it was all for a dime bag. No,
Bag was about that big. No, it was a big fucking bag, but
it's just fucking weed, man. It's just fucking weed.
It grows in the fucking ground.
I know.
It is a naturally occurring thing, just like tobacco.
Just the government never got their fucking hands on it.
Yep.
Just like in Prohibition, they didn't have their hands on fucking alcohol for a while either.
Yeah.
That's why Prohibition was a big thing.
Well, that's why alcohol laws are still so random everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I lived. I think I told you about when I lived down. The alcohol laws down south are crazy strict.
Are they really?
They really are. Like when you go to a bar here, there's usually like a couple of licenses on the wall, like the business license and the alcohol license, and then there's usually like an after midnight alcohol license. That's it. If you go to a bar in South Carolina, it's like a whole fucking bulletin board of licenses they have to have. And a lot of places nowadays down south, you can't be a only bar. You have to sell some kind of food. You have to get a permit to be open past 9, past 11, past midnight, and past 2 a.m. And if you fault on any one of those, they just shut you down. You don't like lose that license. You are shut the fuck down. Most places still don't allow alcohol sales on Sundays. And if they do, it's usually up to the business's discretion. So a lot of businesses still don't, because there's an extra tax to sell alcohol on Sundays. Because there's also
the Lord's Day.
Yeah, there's also a high food tax down there too that doesn't exist up here. When I moved up here, buying food was so much cheaper than it is down there. Yeah. It's weird down there, man. All these drive-through shopping places where you can drive through and buy half-gallon of milk, 6-pack of beer. Those don't exist down south.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Those don't exist.
I would tell people down there that I work with about those. They look at me like I was talking about seeing Bigfoot.
Now, that's one thing people have always said. Like those don't really only exist in Ohio. I feel like
pretty much Ohio and Ohio, Iowa, kind of the farmland, the heartland area here is the only place those exist. You go out past into the over into Central Time or whatever, they don't exist. It's so weird.
I really don't even use those things that much though.
Oh no, they're expensive. They sell their stuff's being sold at gas station prices. So. Yeah,
it's literally you're doing it for convenience because you don't want to get out of your car.
That's literally it.
Yeah,
I
don't want to walk.
Yeah, when I do go into those places, it's like I don't feel like getting out the car.
What if one of those was invented because somebody was like, "Fuck, I want to get in there, buy shit, but I don't want to walk there," and just drove their fucking car into the building. It was like slap some money on it, grab some Snickers up front. Out of the window, snap money on the counter, just backed out.
There's one Speedway that has one of those drive-throughs over in Centerville, Miamisburg kind of area. There's one big ass Speedway that also has the drive-through, and you can tell them like, "Hey, I want a Speedy Freeze," and you'll see them fucking walk in, go to the Speedy Freeze thing, fill up the thing, take it back out to them, and.
That's so weird.
I know. It's like it's already. I don't know.
There's also gas stations that like people still fill your. You can get people to fill your gas tank.
This is still a thing.
I've never dealt with that ever in my entire life.
I had it one time.
Fucking rich white people shit.
Yeah, I had it one time. The guy walked up and I was like, is something wrong?" He's like, "You're for gas, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, it's a full service station." I was like, "Shut the fuck up." Fuck. All right, cool. Yeah, fill her up, man. Shit.
Do you have to tip them?
I mean, you should. I did. Mostly because it was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is an experience I never thought I'd get to have. You get an extra $5.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I would have never. I don't know. Fucking bullshit.
Used to be a thing. You used to not be allowed to pump your own gas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now it's. Yeah. I don't know.
Now you can fucking in Ohio. You can just drive in, get a carton of milk, and some heroin.
So you can get CBD at Speedway now. You can get CBD, a Speedy Freeze, and gas, all without having to get out of your fucking car.
Just fill up the slushy with gas. What? Do it.
Like those fuckers that were filling up the garbage bags with the gas.
See this? I don't want to be this fucking stupid. Did I grow a mullet? Like every single time you do something like dumber, like a mullet, your hair gets longer in the back. Right.
But shorter in the front.
Yeah. Just fucking move slightly. If you're really dumb, you get a rat tail.
Oh, God.
The fucking dreaded rat tail.
Oh, God. We always want you guys to be a part of the show, so join in on the conversation. All you got to do is head over to our website, www.tblpod.net, and you can click on the blue microphone and leave us a voice message, which we'll respond to on the air. You can also use our website to access our official Discord server and chat with us and all kinds of other listeners just like you at any time you want. Once again, head on over to our website, www.tblpod.net. He's not the mayor anymore, so they bring on Adam's cousin, Wild West.
Goddamn, that's why Seth MacFarlane's amazing.
Voiced by Sam Elliot. I gotta show you a clip. This is the funniest shit ever.
Oh my, Wild West.
It is some of the funniest shit you've ever seen.
How is that?
Yeah.
That's a fair point, Lois. Do you mind if I make you a sweater while I respond?
No, that would be fine.
Lois, I moved my whole family to Oregon when I was 13, and it taught me that a town is like a horse. You don't choose it, it chooses you. And I believe Coag has chosen me just like it chose my cousin Adam. Now, the last thing I want to do is take something from a woman. There's nothing I respect more than women.
Is that so?
Yes, I've raised 16 daughters into strong, independent women. I'm a registered doula, and I always order edamame for the table.
Oh, my God. So you're all alone up here with no one to touch your sweaty biceps?
A man's never alone, Lois, so long as he has his principles.
Holy thundering Lord.
As long as he has his principles.
He's got I swear to God, in the show, he's got on his farm, he raises mustaches. He's got like live mustaches.
So stupid.
And at one point, Peter, I guess, decides that all of his masculine power comes from his mustache. So he sneaks in the middle of the night to try and like rip it off. And he takes like a chainsaw to it, a blowtorch to it, and nothing. It just won't come off. So he tries to grab it. It starts fighting back against him.
The fact that his name is Wild West and it's Sam Elliot. It's so fucking fun.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Basement Lounge. If you guys want to know more about the show or get more involved in any way, shape, or form, head on over to our website, tblpod.net. That's tblpod.net. Leave us a rating and review on the reviews page and click the little blue microphone to send us a voice message. Let us know what you thought of today's show and share your thoughts on what we talked about. We'll see you guys again next week for a brand new episode. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m. is when they drop. Until then, as always, live well, rock on, take care, and bye-bye.